Okay, so at this point, things have been going pretty well. But I'll note that this is going to be like an episode before something really bad happens. Just because I know I have that future thought and, that future vision and all that. But anyhow, at this point, I basically get bleeding, I think, to start doing some cleaning, I think, at this point. Or something to happen. But yeah, I noticed, no cleaners. I have to get some cleaners going. I get bleeding to start doing some cleaning. I immediately get her to, target some vomit. So we get that out of the way. She gets to doing that then. All the vomit starts to go away. Because, blood is not very pleasant to see for your colonists, and it basically makes it an ugly environment, so get rid of it. I go up here, I wash my storage to make sure, there's steel chunks being accepted there, because I have, steel chunks to be moved around. They've basically been there by my coolers because they got destroyed by fire a while back, and I decided to finally start moving them. The steel's been mined out. More or less everything I want to has been harvested. Everything's been picked up. Factor's hunting those Ibex rams. At this point, I'm more or less just sort of finishing up a lot of stuff. And basically what I'm going to get myself and Cornish Knight to make some tailoring benches and build up a little bit more of defensive walls. Because those have to be made. I also think about components now too, I think, because I'm going to start building moisture pumps. And I noticed I've got 20 components there. Moisture pumps basically take 5 components each to make, so they're very, big on the component hog, so to speak. But anyhow, here's the electric tailoring brushes finally being made, because, I wanted to make them at some point for, constructing, tailored cloth. I decided to build a few, lamps in here. And I decided I'm going to run some power down this direction too, so basically, run some power lines basically to, have power basically going around. So there's a second circuit, so to speak, is what a power line's all about. I also noticed there's a whole lot of elk down there at this point, I think. I'm there's a lot of elk down there. Here we go, starting to craft a little bit more, or not craft, but cut up some more meat and turn it into simple food. Of course, that's taking the steel that we basically harvested more or less to make some power cons, which is great. And here's where I start placing moisture pumps. So the thing about moisture pumps is that they have a radius of effect where basically they'll turn stuff into dry land, but they basically do this over time, so they can be a very long. They're basically a long-term investment to basically get more land over time. I placed down basically 3 initially, but I put 2 more eventually to start sucking in some more of the marsh. And essentially their job will be to just basically get me some more land basically. And basically, building those is gonna like cut into my resources quite a bit. So I have to start mining components soon for this episode. There's the first tailoring bench made. And of course, I assume makes the second, I think. So he goes for a walk. And I start building up the stuff over here, I guess. So there's that built. There's that wiring built a little bit. And the lamps turn on, which is great. So I start building that bench, and this is the point I guess where I start building like the tailoring bills. So things about like the bills is that you can basically make any type of clothing. For like the colder environments, you have like toques and pants and t-shirts and or button-down shirts and like parkas basically wear, and those basically help with like give your colonists more like warmth in the wintertime. And in the south, you basically have like cowboy hats and like the t-shirts and other stuff that basically doesn't like warm you as much, but basically gives you like some covering and such for like defense and such. That's the thing about like clothing; you can use it for like defense. And I basically set these all like to make like 10 each. And the purpose for making them like all 10 each is so that um, basically there'll be like 10 pants, button-down shirts, parkas, and toques for like people to wear, and it'll like all be in good condition. I also explained each of these different items take like different types of resources to make. So, like the toques take like only like 20 or 25 like pieces of like material to make, whereas like the parka takes like 120. So you want to basically like watch for that. You also want to set the crafting skill perhaps. You want to make it so like your best crafters will basically like be the ones to do this, so that essentially you'll get like better like quality out of your resources when you basically have the best crafters doing it. And I set these guys like the level 10 crafters only to work on these, which turns out to be only Vidina, but that's fine. She can do the crafting. See, I noticed that the components are going lower and lower, and it's partly it's because the moisture pumps take 5 each. So I'm not going to have the components to basically make too many of these moisture pumps, but I make one right there. So I note that this moisture pump, it'll basically start like absorbing the water inside that radius, and it'll take some time. It'll take like a long time obviously to absorb that water, turn into like good land, but whatever. It'll eventually get there. Lydia begins to work on her first like parka, so we'll finally get that going. And I think at this point I maybe unroof a little bit above that orbital beacon, I guess. Or I don't unroof it, I just turn off the stockpile. Because like a small like here's the thing about like that area. Basically, if you look at it, it says unroofed 9, and basically those are like 9 tiles above the orbital beacon where there's no roof. So I'm basically like this is an unroofed area right here, and I possibly want to basically remove the stockpile around the orbital beacon so that nothing is placed there that'll degrade. Well, I guess I don't do that right now, but I'm basically talking about like the unroofed area, and that's something to watch out for. And as Philip is slowly getting his crafting up, or Vector's getting his crafting up, we go to haul some granite chunks because they're out here in the middle of nowhere, and I want to get them hauled. So here's where I start mining out the machinery, because I do need to have that machinery, so I start looking around for it. And I decide, where am I going to go? How far am I going to go? I'm not going to go near the Timberwolf or around like where he might be. Yeah, I look down here like in the south because there's no animals down here at the moment. I find like that like big four pop right there. I find right there some. I decided I'm going to stay away from that area over there because it's getting a little bit too close to Timberwolf. And then I see like Eco walking down here, which is near the Timberwolf anyways. I'm like, where's the Timberwolf? Now, there's ancient danger being told about here. So something I know about is that there's basically these like ancient walls, and like there's basically structures on like your maps when you basically get to them. Sometimes you have like this basically ancient danger pops up, and it's basically a dangerous area. There's gonna be something inside that area, and I don't know what's in there. It could be something very dangerous. It could be something that isn't dangerous, but I want to watch out for it. So yeah, there's stuff in there I have to watch out for. I know that Ebex Doze over there is dead, so I decided I'll pick it up. And I look at the Timberwolf and it's like, you've been injured quite a bit. And I probably should have attacked him right there, but whatever. Basically, the wolf is in pain for attacking an Ebex Doe. So Eco starts like hauling that the Ebex for butchering. I mean, it's free like morsels to eat, right? Helps stave off starvation. Now at this point, so I just build like the first wall. I said I have enough like resources for it, and I also have enough resources to start building up the doors too. So build a door right there, build a door right there. I'm not being as autistic for this one too, so we basically just build the doors. And I say, that looks fine. I don't really care anymore. Let it be. Now I know there's a big swamp over to like the west of my position, and that swamp will actually be like guys that are crossing that swamp will basically have no defense. So I decided to leave it for a little bit. And that actually comes to be like a bit of an issue later on in the next episode. So, things are just going on. Again, I'm running out of foodstuffs because, I don't have enough, like, food for all my colonists at the moment. Lydia starts doing her parka construction again, and it's spiffing gets research, so great. I decide, what am I going to get next? I guess I'll start going machinery. Well, I don't immediately go for machine, but I decide that I need to get, like, I'll need to get machine for, like, when I have, like, the mechanoids popping up, so we'll get that going now. So I decided I'll just get machining. Probably around now. I know that takes electricity and smithing. I can craft my guns eventually too if I want. I won't be crafting guns for a while because those basically are like intensive on components. Though they are awesome to build. The corn is slowly being grown. I noticed there's a hare out there to hunt, so I decided I'll hunt that. A raccoon over there. A hare here. I look at that timberwolf a little bit more aside. I'll hold off on hunting it for a little bit more. Hunt those Apex does. The hare. So down to the south, of course, Kronos and me are basically, making up in our wall. You gotta build your walls, Lydia's slowly making a parka. It's taking a while, but she'll get to it. I'm thinking about getting Vladina due to hunting the Timberwolf, but I decided to hold off for now. I note that the moisture pumps are slowly getting built, and they're like, slowly getting to work. Now it's worth noting that they basically have like a very slow, slowly expanding radius. So initially they only have like, one radius, but they'll like expand more. And so even if they're like gonna be close together, the moisture pumps, it's not like it's gonna be like, the end of the world if they build them really close. So like they're gonna overlap a little bit, but whatever, they'll do their job. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll build it right there. Why not? I do a little more building down here. We're slowly getting stuff done. I see that Timberwolf again. And I decided at this point, it's probably worth trying to kill it. So when I get the chance, I'm probably going to get Vladina to basically, stop making the parka, or she's actually going to finish the parka, and I'm basically going to send her over to basically start hunting that Timberwolf. And Foxman's over here hunting the Ibex stuff. Kills an Ibex doe. So that's slowly being done, and when she basically gets it done, I'm like, alright, time to get you to hunt that Timberwolf before it hurts me. I see a squirrel, I see a hare, I'm like, alright, we'll hunt those. See that hare too? Hunt all the hares, damn you! Yeah, these guys are asleep currently, so it's like, alright, well, they're gonna sleep away a day. So we get back to doing a little bit more, crafting of the walls down here. Eco's gonna go hunt that down there. Knows the Timberwolf. Now at this point I think I noticed Vladina taking up that parka, so I'm like, here's the parka she has made. So it's basically a poor Timberwolf skin parka. Not the greatest, but whatever. She did her parka, now it's time to get her to do some hunting. So I basically sent her down to the south, to wherever the Timberwolf is. I'm trying to find it right now. I'm like, where did the Timberwolf go? Whatever, just go down here. And at some point I noticed it, I have like, Course Knight join up. Basically, in case like, she only angers it, I'm going to basically have Course Knight run defense. So she starts taking a shot. Now, something else that animals can also have cover, so he's actually behind trees and other stuff, and that's actually giving him cover. A little bit. He's not in cover right now, but he's close enough to it. Then he starts to enter the marsh. It's like, ooh, the marsh, that's great. If he actually, it gets hit. There we go. We got hit, so the thing's being angered. He takes another shot. Misses. I shot off his right leg, so he's taking a while to get across the marsh. But he gets killed all along the way, so he's out of the way. I unforbid the wolf. I get her to carry it. That's out of the way. Another predator bites the dust. Cornish goes back to making a wall. So we now have a timber wolf to eat, which is great. Then he goes back to doing a little bit of like, textiles. That's fine. Now at this point we start mining out the machinery, which is great because I need it for like making the components for like the things. Then a solar flare happens and all my stuff goes offline, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Hailstream comes to help. There's a little bit more machinery here to mine, so basically we're slowly mining it out. So Hailstream starts to like mine that stuff out. I go down here and start mining out this machinery because I missed it before. And I'm like, ooh, I need that machinery. All the machinery, damn you. Now, I also decided at this point I'm going to make my home area a little bit bigger because basically this entire area that I've like, more or less like roofed or, fenced off. This is like my area. So, gotta make like, a big giant home area. Any fires that happen in here, there'll be, fires fought. Anything that needs to be cleaned up will be cleaned up. Now I moved the area down here because I made like a small area down there, but it's just whatever. I don't really need it. Yeah, I just like get this area over here done. So there we go, big giant home area. So that's out of the way. Solar flare ends, power comes back online. Now I decided I'm going to start mining like the stuff over there just to make a little bit more room for myself. I noticed that there's a common supplier coming. It's basically a tribal common supplier, so nothing really special about it. Yeah, I noticed that like this is like the non-hostile tribe is basically helping me out here, which is great. I also know that they got a tame timberwolf. You can basically tame any type of animal in this game, and timberwolf is one of the animals you can tame. So they come into my base. I have like flyers go say hi to them. And yeah, they don't really have anything of sale like note. They have some components, I guess, but whatever. I think I just leave them be more or less. And I know the Timberwolf because, yeah, there's a Timberwolf. So at this point, I guess I start thinking about like, building like, storage rooms for more corn and stuff like that. I never actually get around to doing it, but it's something I have like in my sort of itinerary. I'm gonna build like a big corn stockpile right where I'm building right down where these guys are right mining. I want to make like a big room for like corn or something. Could build hydroponic space down there too. Another thing I could do. Yes, we're slowly just chewing away the rock here. Then he comes over here to start cleaning his stuff. There's some slate, to basically do as well for mining. I know there's like, an overhead roof, but there's like no like overhead mountain, so that's all good. Cornish Knight comes over, Faulkner comes over. There is a bunch of slate there, which is great. We can haul that away for making slate blocks or chunks or blocks. We might move this machine over here. Yeah, Faulkner's not that fast at mining, but whatever. So they mine over there. Now I know at this point, of course, now he's a little bit in pain. I notice he's got like this burn scar in his eye. He's got like his right ring finger torn off. It's something to watch out for because basically it's like giving a negative debuffer that pain penalty. So I have to watch out for that with him. There's like little things like that that can like screw you over in the long term. Now over here, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to build a wall, and I decide I'm basically going to build a wall up on like the top two parts here. So I'm going to build it right there and right there. And the purpose for this building the wall up here is just so I basically use up a little bit of my grant, but not too much of my grant, basically. Mine that stuff out there because it's just going to give people cover if I attack people out there. I decided to construct that wall over there because why not? Just not really going to help me right there. Now I noticed that there's corn being harvested, so I'm basically gonna get lots of corn for like the winter time. And we can start to make simple meals. So at this point, I'll note that I think I maybe switch over my my crafting for food to be like fine meals more or less, because I really don't really need to have all my meat being made into like um, simple meals if I have like lots of like access like vegetables to turn into like fine meals. Fine meals are basically better to make because they basically offer like more saturation for your colonists, but also it also helps with like mood penalties and such. Now we're over here, we're building up stuff. Of course, I start to build this stuff. The defenses are coming together more or less. And yeah, I'm making lots and lots of corn for like the next time. So that's slowly getting together. So yeah, not a whole lot happening here. Basically, I have some corn to basically harvest. But my guys are basically sleeping, the night away. And then we have that happen. Basically, a fire occurs at the middle of the night. The conduit broke. I basically have to get like my other guys to wake up and do the fire breathing and all that because Eco can't. I decided I won't get Vector to do it. Now something I know here is that my guys immediately start to go back to bed. That's like something to watch out for. whatever. Basically, I get them to start doing their like fire being, manually, like per each. Like it stop, it stop, it start, it stop, it start. So that's done. I set up a power conduit to be built back over here. And because I have a second roof for power, basically the power routes around to like the south instead of like the north. When the north gets blown apart like that. Now at this point, I decided I'm going to start cutting plants like all over the place with like the cut plant feature. And the reason I'm doing this is to make like it easier to walk around my base. So my guys will basically like cut down all these plants here, and there won't be any like obstacles in their way. I haven't cut the stuff around the solar panels just for the hell of it. Some cargo pods happen, it's fine. I go look at them in a moment. I just like continue doing this first. Turns out we have some processed food popping up, which is always great. I set to be hauled. I noticed the dromedary lair is still down there, so I have to get someone to haul it. I noticed that these guys are like slowly just getting towards, doing all the like cutting stuff here. Slowly getting it all out of the way. None of these trees really yield much wood, but they're not really being cut for wood. They're just being cut to get out of the way. So we get them out of the way. And I thought this would take much longer, but it's very, very quick, so that's all the way. Now it's basically, my guys have to harvest, we have to build some stuff. And we're starting to haul stuff too, which is great, because, there's lots and lots of stuff to haul, like all that corn. If you leave the corn out in the field too long, it will basically rot away, so you want to basically, work to, get out into like your stockpile as quickly as possible. Now note by the way that they're harvesting a lot of the rich soil corn. All the other corn is not like harvestable yet, so can't harvest it yet. I guess at this point, this is where I decided to make it like the 5 meals infinite. So I changed it to do forever, do forever, do forever. And basically, you're going to do the 5 meals forever if like to have the option to. You can slowly, carrying that stuff there. Slowly getting it all stockpiled because, we have to do that. Now I set weapons and apparel for a stockpile down there. And the reason for doing that is just so that, any like, apparel or like, weapons I want to sell are in like the orbital trade beacons area. Basically, sometimes you want to sell like your excess orbital trade stuff in like the, the orbital trade beacon like that. So I just start to set doing it. And here's where I remove the stockpile so I don't store anything I don't want right there. That's going to be pretty much it for this episode because then something bad happens in a moment in the next episode.